Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV with Dan the Voice Dyker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Riker. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning.
Welcome in, race fans. It's Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, year number 11, show number 1 of 2021. And we are -1 gentleman since he claims he's late from work, but we're just going to go ahead and plow through it anyways. I am Radio Man Dan Dyker, the voice of the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, the Tomah Sparta Speedway, and whoever else wants me to hop on the road with them, I normally do that. Alongside this year again is the Penguin, the Statman Paul Reichert. This is how many years on TV now?
5 now for me.
5 years on TV, and how many on the radio?
6 on radio, 4 is PR La Crosse, and 3 is PR at Tomah.
He's paid me well to sit in this seat for that many years. Billy Doc Niles will be also joining us throughout another great 2021 season where we pretty much feature the Tomah Sparta Speedway and the La Crosse Speedway with our local program. We are being brought to you again by Big Boar Barbecue. Jerry Beyer and gang in West Salem. He has the exclusive rights to the Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing Show on KQEG TV, as you see right behind us here.
Yes.
Banner proudly made by Drew Krybeck and Epic Media, one of our sponsors as well. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. Well, hopefully one of these days soon you can stop turning the heat on. Mine is still on 71 on some of these chilly nights. And you get to call Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, get them out there to look at that air conditioner before the summer hits us, which we all know will happen pretty soon. And fansarena.com, look at this. We've got now the radio shirts. I've got the bowling design last year.
Yep.
It's more comfortable, a little more roomy, kind of looks classy. If we want to stop and bowl and do radio, we can do that. And we decided, hey, we're going to switch over and have the same shirts for TV this year. So we want to thank Al Losi and his entire gang for the apparel this year for TV and radio. We added another radio station to the radio format this year. So WLXR is the Eagle.
1490.
That's right.
1490 Oldies, the Eagle
is joining us on radio, so we have new radio shirts as well. So we are about ready for. We are about ready for our local race season.
Yes.
But we got to take in the big one last weekend. That would be Dells Raceway Park, and what a great time we had. I mean, you want to ask for the perfect recipe for the very first Midwest race since Golden Sands. It rained out a couple weeks earlier. You couldn't have picked a better recipe to kick things off in the Midwest than Dells last weekend.
No, it was great weather, great fields, 42 super lates going for that big win in the icebreaker. Great field of trucks, great field of 602 late models. It was just a terrific day and a huge crowd attending.
Tell you, I've been to a lot of races at Dells Raceway Park, and I don't think I've ever seen, number one, that many people in turn one. I mean, it was completely packed down there. And then the grandstand where a lot of the pit crews sit and some of the spotters sit there off of turn one, hitting into turn two. And just the overall fan base itself was just simply phenomenal. The food was great for what was left. Everybody was eating lunch and dinner there pretty early. We got to hit our favorite Mexican truck while we were there, so we didn't have to stand in line. But you kind of got stuck in the line, and all you had for lunch was a donut? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, one of the donuts I had left over from breakfast in the morning on the way down. But, well, those are the breaks sometimes, I guess.
I couldn't have survived that day. He had a donut for breakfast and milk. And then for lunch, he had the other donut because the lines were so long, and he was up taking stats and notes. And then we stopped for dinner. Well, there's not really a lot to stop at off the interstate. So I got Paul 2 packages of beef sticks and a lemon lime tea.
Yep.
There's no way I could have survived on those 3 meals of what you had on Sunday.
I know,
There's no way I could have survived.
Well, somehow I did. I don't know how, but.
Talking about Dells Raceway Park, of course, La Crosse Speedway and Tomah. We're not going to kickstart things here for at least a couple of weeks. We'll talk about that later in the program. But March 8th is the official media practice day. And then in the exhibition hall right afterwards is going to be our banquet, which got COVIDed out last year. It's a new term I just made, COVIDed, apostrophe, no, just the ED. But we're going to hold that May 8th at the Crosse Speedway. The following week, May 14th, is a Friday night. We're going to be kicking things off at the Tomah Sparta Speedway with a big crowd, and we're going to run over the schedule then. And then the next day is the Crosse Speedway season opener at 2 p.m. All the races in May, there are 3 of them. They will all start at 2 o'clock. And then I'm not sure if you folks saw it or not, but every race after June 1st will be starting at 7, not 7:30.
Yes, new start time, maybe get people out a little earlier, so I think it's a pretty good idea there.
Of course, CrosseSpeedway.com, you can find the official schedule there. There are some to be determined in August that Chuck Deary's still working on. As for the Tomah Sparta Speedway schedule, I don't think there are any to be determined. I think we are pretty solid.
Yes, we are.
On what we're going to have this year. And Tomah, jam-packed from the very beginning night all the way through, even with the traveling series coming in.
Oh, yes. It's going to be a great show, a great season. We got the new Soccer Moms division debuting this year. We have the Midwest Dash back, the American Super Cups, the Bandoleros are back, I believe, twice, too. So it's going to be a great season.
So we're going to get into that later in the program, and of course the coming weeks as the racing season gets on. Turning your attentions back to Dells Raceway Park. What a great job by all the drivers that came out. Ton of drivers. Your super late model driver winner was
Luke Fenhouse. Yes.
And $5,000 richer.
Yes, he was. And of course, part of the Quickie Driver Development Program, I believe, this year again. And great showing by Luke. He took the lead in lap 37 and just did a great job to survive several yellow flags, several challenges, and came away with his biggest win to date.
602 late models were also in attendance, and that was a pretty decent feature.
Yes, Tom Carlson debuted his 602 late model, was fast qualifier. Did get caught in an incident midway through the race. Did get back to about 9th, I believe, but Greg Bowers, who comes from Waterloo, Wisconsin, claimed the victory, got around Adam Goronsky, who happens to be, I believe, Dave Goronsky's son, who used to race at the Dells. Great showing by him, but Greg Bowers ends up claiming the victory and the 602 late model feature. Midwest Trucks came out, and James Swan had the trifecta 3 years in a row. He has won the icebreaker at Dells Raceway Park. Interesting stat today. The winning percentage of James Swan in the Midwest Truck Series, 13 wins in 54 starts. Wow. Wow. Now, he's also going to be driving a modified, possibly. He ran the super late model at the Dells. And as you'll hear on the radio show this week, he also has a Sportsman of some parts he had laying around in his shop. Yes, he did. That he put together, so James Swan might be running some Sportsman, maybe lacrosse, maybe Tomah, who knows where he's going to be popping on that Sportsman on that. But that's going to be kind of interesting to see James Swan in 3, possibly 4 different series throughout the year. When we come back, we have a guest in studio, first-time guest. It's a young guest. And we're going to talk more about the High School Racing Association, which is going to see year number 2 right here on KQEG TV.
Would you like a job making people happy? Well, I believe we can help you out. Big Boar Barbecue and Catering has openings for both full and part-time work. Days, nights, or weekends. Need to be free on weekends or need to be done by the time the kids get out of school? We can work with that. We need hard-working, energetic people who love to make people happy because our food makes everybody happy. Join the team at Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16, West Salem. Now that's a mouthful.
Big Boar Barbecue.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that really actually matter. Like figuring out which remote turns the TV on, or the smell in the vegetable crisper that in no way can be vegetables, or finding your phone when you leave it on vibrate. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Welcome back. 7 Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue. We need to be. COVID knocked us out last year. We didn't get the tape on the road, did we?
No, we didn't.
We need a tape on the road at Big Boar Barbecue again this year. Carry Heating and Air Conditioning, Epic Media, and fansarena.com, where we have our brand new bowling TV shirts. Now they mimic the radio ones.
Oh, yes.
You look mighty comfortable. And you're wearing a T-shirt, thank goodness.
Yes.
You're starting to get into my Dan Diker dress code this year.
Yes.
Penguin and Radio Band Dan back. We were talking about the High School Racing Association at the end of the last segment and a big schedule they have coming up this year. Not only at La Crosse, but at Tomah and Rockford and Madison, and our first guest of the season. First time she's been on the show, so we're going to kind of be nice on her, unless she starts getting smart alecky, and then we're going to make her dance. Is going to be Kelsey Clements, who ran the High School Racing Association last year. How are you, kiddo?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Are you ready for the season to roll around?
I absolutely am. I'm very excited.
Look how she's dressed. I like that.
I even got the checkered Vans on.
Cheyenne Stanfield needs to take some tips on how to appropriately dress here. Well, with the vinyl company this year, we'll see what she shows
we'll
up
see.
in the morning. First year was last year in the High School Racing Association. It took me a couple of nights to figure out who you were because I didn't have you on my media sheet. And a lot of times you guys didn't have a fully wrapped six-cylinder car like a lot of the other people did, or the ones that race six cylinders. So I've kind of figured it was a house car, and Chuck Deary had popped the driver in there just to kind of fill the field. But it was Kelsey Clements.
It was me.
How did this come about that you all of a sudden are going to make your debut racing?
I mean, my dad used to race, like, later when I was younger. And I always thought, like, what does it feel to be, like, out on that track? You know, I've always been kind of the adrenaline rusher, and, you know, I've always just had a lot of, you know, go-getter moments in my life. And I just thought, you know, give it a try. What's to lose?
I've been thinking that for 53 years. I'm still not racing. What's going on here? I picked the wrong path to go on. That's a solid answer. But we talked to her last weekend. She doesn't seem like the rambunctious go-getter. She's so quiet and kind of...
Yeah, she does appear quiet at first when you meet her, but then she shows her true self, and she was impressive. How did you feel you did the first couple of nights out?
I feel like it was kind of a rough start, to be honest, but as the season went along, I got a little more nervous to go out there and just more of having fun.
And you could tell by about the third race, not only I think a lot of the high schoolers were starting to pick up the pace. I mean, two of them were just blowing the doors off everybody right off the bat.
Yeah.
But you could tell, especially you could tell a young driver when they start getting used to what's going on when they come out of turn 4, because you start picking up the speed, you start choosing a little bit of a line, you come up a little bit closer to the wall. Was it about the third race you were like, hey, I can do this with everybody else?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I would say what I'm going to change from this year from last year, I was super cautious of all the other drivers. Like, are they going to pass me, or are they next to me? You know, like, I didn't want to crash into them. So I think that's something I'll change this year that I did do last year.
Just kind of stand your own ground, and away we go.
I'm just gonna go for it.
What was that very first night like? Let's talk about, so you and mom and dad, you get to the track, and of course I didn't even realize who your parents were at that time. You get to the track, you pull in the pits, the car comes off the hauler. What starts going through your head that you're actually inside the La Crosse Speedway?
I think that it was kind of cool, you know, I'm a girl racer. They're common, but they're not as common as obviously guys.
Right.
So I was like, well, you know, I'm pretty powerful to be doing this right now, but I was very nervous. But I mean, I was just trying to think about all the positives that it could happen, not that I would crash or anything, you know, I was just not trying to think about that.
Now, how much practice had you had before that very first race?
Quite a bit. We went to probably every practice that we had, so I had quite a bit of practice, you know, getting the feel of my car, but to me, like, enough practice, there was never enough practice.
Right.
You know?
We get that with Paul sitting on the TV set all the time. He's been there for years. Don't even bring up Niles, because 20 years and he's still in the works.
Yep.
So you're out for your first race. Are your hands sweaty? Is the heart pumping? You got butterflies this big. Talk about that very first time that bang, there's a green flag.
I mean, for the suits we have to wear, I was definitely sweating. Like, there wasn't no doubt about it. My helmet was wet all on the inside. I was definitely nervous. My hands were definitely sweaty. I was, you know, sliding on the steering wheel and stuff, and I'm like, you can do this. You know, I was just saying, you can do this. You got this. You're gonna do good. I just had to keep reminding myself of all the positive things, and yeah.
Because there's a lot that goes through your head. I mean, once that green flag drops, no matter what Dad was telling you, it all goes out the window because you can't think that fast. Now you're in a whole different world.
Yep. And you're just, you know, I think that there is more adrenaline to just seeing that green flag, you know, and it's like, okay, I have to watch that green flag to know when to go and just, you know, pedal to the metal and hit
come
it.
out of turn 4, there's your very first one. Like, okay, it's showtime. There's no more talk going on.
Yep.
So, did you accomplish everything you wanted to last year? I mean, obviously, you're not going to win every race. You're not going to finish this, but if you look at maybe your top 4 or 5 goals, did you accomplish everything you wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, besides winning, yes, I would say that I was out to go get it, and, you know, I think I made a lot of people proud, but also have heart attacks. You know, it's you know, sometimes a battle between the two, but yeah, I think I would say I did.
Okay, so year 1 done, over with. Butterflies are now this big again. Now you got year number 2. What are your goals for this year?
I mean, to win, obviously. I mean, I think that's everybody's goal as when they get out there. To hopefully not damage my car on the first race that I get out there on.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah. And, you know, just to have fun, because this could be my last race. You never know, maybe I'll take it on next year in actual stock car, but if this is my last race season, you know, just to have fun, put my whole heart into it, because if it was or is my last one, then I would just want to live it to the fullest.
No, this ain't gonna be your last. You're racing. You got the bug now, sister.
Yeah.
You are stuck. Mom and Dad, she is stuck now. Now you're gonna run lacrosse and Tomah. Are you gonna try to go maybe to Rockford or Madison if you get a chance?
Yeah, I think we're gonna run lacrosse, Tomah, and Madison. Yep.
See, now that would be the first, because nobody did that last year. If memory serves me correctly, none of our lacrosse Tomah drivers made that venture because Madison was closed and Rockford would race half the season.
Yeah, and I never went to Tomah last year either. I think we were going to go to Tomah, but then I wrecked my car, so I never did go.
Did you watch Dad run it at New Year's Eve in the snow?
No, I didn't. I wasn't there. I wish I was, though. It would have been a fun race to watch.
Did you have fun, Dave?
Sure did.
Dave Clements and Mom Gretchen off to the camera right here.
I would have been excited to, he actually raced the Enduro for, you know, Tomah, and I wasn't there either, but yeah.
So who gets to run this coming New Year's Day?
I don't know.
Dave's over here going like, it's him right off the bat. Hopefully you can get 2 cars by then. Before we let you go, you got some great sponsors that are going to help you out this season. Who do you got on board?
Well, I'd like to thank Gretchen Clements, Century 21. It's probably one of our biggest sponsors that we've had, considering she's my stepmom. She's helped out with a lot last year, and I know she got a present for you last year.
I got a big man's chair.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm going to bring that in the studio because I first met her and used to talk about her in that chair at Tomah. I'm going to bring that thing in here this year. It's got a table. You could fit about 4 average-sized people in. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Favorite one on my deck right now.
Yep, and then 3 Amigos Property Management, lacrosseapartments.net. They've sponsored, so they've helped out with, like, you know, they're going to be on my car. And then Kurt Oswald and my dad, they work at Pischke 21, and they've helped a lot with my car, you know, the welding and all that stuff. And then J&L Collections, I got their sticker, and they're going to go in my car. So. Yep,
I lined Jamie and her up at Thompson Smoker. So the first one is going to be June 6th at the Crosse Speedway, and June 11th during the 6-shooter special event. High School Racing Association is going to be at Tomah. Now, they do have a 6-shooter event going on, too, so her dad, Dave, already said, good, then she can run and I can run at the same time. You ever want to get into a race where you've got you and Dad in the same race?
No, because I know he's too competitive. I feel like he'd always try to win, so he'd try to sabotage me somehow. And
a little bump and run about 4 or 5 times. Kelsey Clements gets no here he goes. Dad sends her through the turn 3 area up there at Crosse Speedway. Kelsey, it's been a pleasure having you on. She's going to be on the radio show this week as well. What do you think? I think she knocked it out of the ballpark.
Yes,
she did a nice job.
She did great.
Bill, what do you think? That wasn't a rookie interview. You get the thumbs up.
Thank you.
He just finally strolled in the studio. So. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Tomah Sparta Speedway and lacrosse. Get you set for year number 11 of the big show right here on KQEG TV.
Would you like a job making people happy? Well, I believe we can help you out. Big Boar Barbecue and Catering has openings for both full and part-time work. Days, nights, or weekends. Need to be free on weekends or need to be done by the time the kids get out of school? We can work with that. We need hardworking, energetic people who love to make people happy because our food makes everybody happy. Join the team at Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16, West Salem. Now that's a mouthful.
Big Boar Barbecue.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that really actually matter. Like figuring out which remote turns the TV on, or the smell in the vegetable crisper that in no way can be vegetables, or finding your phone when you leave it on vibrate. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Welcome back, race fans. KQEG TV, year number one. This is year number 11.
Yes, 11 for us.
Number one of 2021. As we want to thank Kelsey Clements for joining us in the program. She's a little spitfire. She's going to be good
yes.
now that she is year number one under her belt with the High School Racing Association. And you know, look at the tutelage she has as well. Her dad, Dave, raced for many years.
In the street stocks, yeah.
Look at the Enduro. He was in January 1st.
Yeah, that was a good showing. I can't wait to see what the High School Racing Association can do for year two after that pretty darn good first season they had.
Trying to look that up here real fast. I blocked out one of my tabs. Looks like June 5th is going to be the first High School Racing Association race at La Crosse Speedway.
Yes.
And they're going to have 6 this year. And you're looking at Rockford, you're looking at Madison, you're looking at Tomah, and you're looking at La Crosse. And the cool thing is, Madison, so far, is open to race this year.
They are, yep.
And I asked Kelsey at Jeff Thompson's Smoker last weekend, what are the chances of you possibly going to run Tomah? She said pretty much full-time. Maybe a couple of La Crosse, maybe even getting down to Madison if they can get it in on their schedule. So,
yeah.
You know, we had a champion last year statewide out of the 2.5 tracks because Rockford only ran a half a season.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
But it would be interesting to see what happens if we get a high schooler that can actually go to 3, maybe even 4 tracks.
Yeah, maybe even hit all 4. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Try to slam down that entire High School Racing Association next year. So far, looks like we might have 9 or 10.
Ooh, that sounds
between Tomah and La Crosse that register, we may have between 9 and 10.
That sounds pretty good.
Excuse me. So again, Champions Party at La Crosse is going to be 3 to 7. Now, I talked to Chuck Deary. Open practice and media day will be May 8th from 10 until 2. Then everyone's going to leave, come back around 3, get all dutied up because we're going to have a banquet inside the exhibition hall. And then awards are going to be at 4.
Right. And
we hopefully will get a lot of TV coverage out of that. Really kind of up in the air how we're going to do the awards thing between Billy and I. I'm not sure, but we're going to get them done somehow. Season opener is May 15th, 2 p.m. start. Again, every race in May is going to be a 2 p.m. start. Then after that, they're going to be 7 o'clock starts. Doesn't matter to me, half an hour.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Tomah will get underway on Friday night, May 14th. And there is another event I'll be announcing at La Crosse Speedway. I'm going to be kicking off the street drags this year on Friday night, May 7th.
Oh, okay.
See, they wanted me to DJ the World of Outlaws race up at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, but I have prior commitments. I must do street drags.
Oh, okay.
It gets me warmed up for that huge weekend.
Well, yeah, that does, yeah.
Again, lacrossespeedway.com if you want the schedule there. Tomah Sparta Speedway.com if you want the schedule there. The flyers are out. Street drag schedules are out. And if you look at La Crosse's, really, the big things are back. Buck Night is back.
Yes.
Smash-O-Rama's back. Night of Destruction's back. Oktoberfest is back. You've got the 608 Piston Pounders Car Show that I'll be DJing. That's on August 7th. And then there is a August 21st. Now, it's not on the website schedule, but it's on the flyer schedule to be determined.
Right.
And Chuck Deary said, yes, there will be a concert. He would not release who the guest artists will be yet. 200 lap enduro will be in September again. And of course, what is this year? Is this the 52nd annual Oktoberfest or
Yes,
53rd?
52nd.
52nd. Man, oh man, oh man.
Where's the time go?
I don't know. I think it's interesting that the past, I'd say 4 or 5 months, all the smokers and things I've been doing. Do you know how many different years of Oktoberfest sweatshirts I've been seeing people wear? I've seen them from the late 80s into the 90s, into the 2000s,
wow.
into just the past 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
I want to know if somebody out there has apparel from every Oktoberfest, whether it's a shirt, a pin, or a hat, or a coat.
That would be interesting to see if someone has some from.
That's a challenge we're going to put out this year. And if we can find someone that has it, we'll get them a gift.
Ooh.
But see, what year was the very first fest there, Bill?
70.
70.
See, Bill just now decided to roll in off camera, so we'll somewhat include him. So 1970 until 2020, I want to find someone that has in their personal collection something from every single year.
Wow. Well, that'd be pretty interesting to see if somebody does have something like that.
I almost bet somebody named Weir's might.
And if they have apparel, does it still fit? Sure, Bill's got a sweatshirt from 1975 that his dog wears now.
I don't have a dog either.
See, he put it on the dog, and there was a problem there. He suffocated the dog. But yeah, that's going to be the thing. I'd like to find someone that's got something from every single year, not just borrowed, someone that's got every single thing from every single year. So yeah, lots coming up at Crosse Speedway this year. Still have the Fair Time Drags. Tomah Sparta Speedway, as we said at the top of the show, bringing in some good outside series again this year.
Oh yes, Midwest Dash Series, the Bandoleros are coming back, American Super Cup. It should be another great year for Tomah.
Vintage Series will be there.
Yes, twice.
How about the second annual Hobby Fest?
Oh yes, how are they going to top last year? We could see upwards maybe 50 hobby
Well, I
stocks.
think we're going to see more than that. I mean, the talk
really?
that I've heard so far, there's a lot of hobby stocks coming out of the woodworks. Not only did we do it, but then you saw the resurgence at Jefferson.
Yep.
You saw the somewhat hobby fest at Rockford.
Yep.
We were there for the Short Track Nationals last year. So I think a lot of hobbies are going to be either built or coming out of the woodworks. And I wouldn't be surprised at Tomah if you see close to 70 hobby stocks, the same ones that were there last year, some of their kids, teammates, and whatnot. But that was a big show.
That was an impressive show, and I can't wait to see how it's going to be topped this year.
Coolest thing Greg Oliver told the drivers is we don't want this to be a demo fest. We don't want this to be the first and last hobby fest. And it wasn't. We had that many cars on the track at one time. Very minimal wrecks.
Very, very good racing by all the drivers that came from all over the Midwest. So I know they're going to put on another great show this year, so make sure you're there August 29th.
That's going to be TomahSpartaSpeedway.com, and again, LaCrosseSpeedway.com. Find Seven Rivers Racing on YouTube. We have pretty much every show that we could ever think of, dating back about 11 years.
Going all the way back to the beginning,
Even posted one of Dan Bailey and I when we did one at Mississippi Thunder Speedway with Alex Williamson. The reason I bring his name up, this is years ago. This is probably 9-10 years ago. He picked up his first ever A-Mod win at Cedar Lake.
Actually won two at the legendary weekend at Cedar Lake.
So I kind of made him grow up a little bit more when he saw how young he looked on the video. Want to thank Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, fansarena.com, Epic Media, and Big Boar Barbecue for bringing you year number 11 of Seven Rivers Racing. For Bill off camera, he might be back next week if we allow him to.
Yeah.
Paul will be here, and myself, Radio Man Dan Dyker. Have a good week and support your local short tracks.
You've been watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV with Dan the Voice Dyker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Riker. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. Thanks for watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.
Would you like a job making people happy? Well, I believe we can help you out. Big Boar Barbecue and Catering has openings for both full and part-time work. Days, nights, or weekends. Need to be free on weekends or need to be done by the time the kids get out of school? We can work with that. We need hard-working, energetic people who love to make people happy because our food makes everybody happy. Join the team at Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem. Now that's a mouthful.
Big Boar Barbecue.